Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here, this time reviewing on Barbie of Swan Lake. Now, as you know, Barbie of Swan Lake was a 2003 direct-to-video computer film that was meant to be the third CGI entry in the Barbie film series, as well as being the second film based on Tchaikovsky's ballet play, which I did cover during Christmas, Barbie in a Nutcracker. Now, Barbie of Swan Lake is meant to be based on Tchaikovsky's story adaptation of Swan Lake, which was meant to be from 1875 to 1876. And the premise of the film is meant to be about Barbie telling her sister Kelly, who is feeling uneasy about going to camp, and pretty much throughout the story we see her telling the story about a young girl known as Odette, who mainly lives in the village. And of course Odette ends up finding a unicorn named Leela, and of course this ends up with her going into a magical forest where she must help the residents there, who are in fear and fighting a war against Rothbart. Now, Rothbart's character is meant to be played by Kelsey Grammer, and I think he really does play that kind of smooth but kind of cunning villain well. And I think Kelsey Grammer's voice does work for villainous characters. And I would say when you kind of got Rothbart's daughter, known as Odale, you can kind of tell she's maybe something similar to Ransac's daughter from Power Rangers Time Force. She's meant to be spoiled, meant to be inconsiderate. Basically, I think Maggie Wheeler's voice fits it well. It has that annoying feel to it, which I think does work. So, of course, throughout the film, we see how Odette has to help the residents and pretty much as well find out a way to sort of get turned back to normal after being turned back to a swan. We basically see her basically trying to help the residents as well as falling in love with Prince Daniel. And I would say the film itself keeps little true to the book, to the play I mean. You kind of see how Odette has to kind of save the day, make sure her and Prince Daniel get together. It's that standard Barbie feel to it. And I would say what I do like about Venus Tersel's character as Lila, you can kind of tell she's meant to be a bit more sassy, a bit more like that friend you had at college who was always that kind of hardcore tomboy. And I kind of feel her character does work. And again, I feel like when you got Karen Burr playing the Fairy Queen, she really does try to seem like this wise but kind of good-hearted mentor, which I think does work. And I kind of feel when you kind of had Odette's sister in the film, I kind of felt you could have had her throughout the movie helping Odette out to try and be encouraging, to help her face the obstacles, like an actual sister-like character, which I think could have worked. And I would also say that, well, Barbie the Nutcracker was playing more truthful to the play. I think Barbie of Swan Lake stays closely to the play, but mostly trying to be a bit more open with it. And I feel when the characters do go into dance, you can actually feel that the animators put a lot of attention to it, showing the characters' movements, how they go around, how they sort of act with each other. I think they really know how to bring a lot of emotion in. And I would say, to me at least, Barbie of Swan Lake is a bit of a hit and miss, but it's definitely enjoyable. And I would say, surprising enough, this would be the final time we would see Barbie telling, basically, Kelly her sort of inspiring stories. and we wouldn't really see it again until Barbie in A Christmas Carol. And I feel them sort of bringing it back was like them saying, hey, remember when we used to do Barbie telling stories to Kelly? But I think to me, being that last send off does work, but at the same time, bringing it back makes sense. So I think this movie definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.